We will begin in a comfortable seated position on your mat, starting with just some half circles with your neck, just going forward in a U shape, back and forth a couple times, allowing some tension to simply release here. Then bring your head back to center, and then take that half circle to the back. So slowly and with control, rolling your head back and forth to release tension. Gentle here, not to move too fast. Let's bring those shoulders up by the ears just to remind ourselves how it feels to drop them down. Bring that right arm up, just helping to stretch the neck a little bit. Grab the opposite side of your head and just gently guide your head down to relieve more tension in the neck. Do the other side, warming our bodies up so we can twist and turn and really free up those complicated thoughts that can be very difficult to let go throughout our day. And release. Take the left hand and grab the right knee. Lift up tall and then use your arms to help twist you open to the side. Lift up to reset and switch arms, opposite hand to opposite knee, lifting tall through the head and twisting. That back hand is grabbing the mat to stabilize your body, and let that go. Arms float back up to the sky and fold over those crossed legs. Might want to roll your back up and down a little bit, finding a movement that allows you to feel a stretch and a release. Seated cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly forward. Exhale, curl the spine in. Inhale, forward, look up. Exhale, curl around the spine. And then create some circles with your chest. You might want to close your eyes. Just find some peace here as we warm up. Switching directions. And then we're going to come toward hands and knees, but stop short. Tuck your toes under. We'll find a toe stretch here. Sit your hips back on your heels, adjusting your weight slightly. Hips over your heels. Finding a spot where you can find that stretch in your toes. We spend all day pressing weight into our feet. This is an opportunity to undo some of that pressure. And then come through tabletop position and step back to your first downward facing dog of class. Energetically press through all 10 fingers, long spine here. Make any adjustments you need. Think energy through the heels, driving those heels toward the mat. And it might feel good to pedal out the knees, just getting comfortable in this active rest pose of downward facing dog. And slowly walk your feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Allow your head to hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, hands comes to the shins, long spine, and release, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, stand all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center, taking a moment to set your intention. Inhale, arms reach up tall to the sky. Exhale, fold it on forward. Inhale, half lift, hands to the shins. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, lower to the knees, and then lower all the way to the belly, releasing the feet. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release, tuck the toes, and press back down dog. Resetting for a moment, and then look forward, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Crossing the right leg behind the left, create an X, a long X with your legs, cross-legged forward fold. Release that and head over to the other side, feeling the sensation, letting that go. One more halfway lift, folding it forward, and then sweep the arms up by the ears. And we're going to step that right leg behind the left, side bend off to the left with the arms up straight. Feeling that cross-legged side bend, switch it out, left leg behind the right, bending over to the right side, and release that, extended mountain pose, and swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, hands meet the mat, legs hop back, lower down all the way, or if you want to take chaturanga like I am, halfway, inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog, exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog. Three-legged dog, right leg lifts up. You can keep the hips parallel at first, playing around, pointing and flexing. You can open the hip up, and maybe you want to bend the knee and draw some circles with that knee. Then step that foot in between the hands. Dial the back heel down on the mat. Inhale, rise up, warrior one, and then step that back foot in, pyramid pose. Release forward. Front knee can bend as you try to get that forehead to the knee. And then releasing the same way we came in with a flat back, come to standing. And step back through a vinyasa, halfway or all the way. You can place your knees on the mat, up dog or cobra, and everyone meets in down dog. Right over to the left side, three-legged dog on the left, extending that hip open. Option once again to create circles, listening to your body, finding the movement that your body needs today. And then straightening that leg, stepping it through in between the hands, finding your base for warrior one. Back heel dials down onto the mat, toes point off to the right side, releasing the tension in the body to help simplify the thoughts in the mind. Shortening the stance into pyramid, two straight legs, and lowering down with a flat back until those hands meet the mat. Place a bend in the front knee if you need to, and drive that forehead toward the front knee. Release with a flat back, coming back up to standing, and then place the hands back on the mat, step back, flow through a vinyasa, or meet in down dog. Feeling that body starting to warm up, checking in with your mind as you start to move. Look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Find chair. Arms sweep up as you bring a deep bend in the knees. Sit low. And then stand up to swan dive down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step or hop to plank. And flow. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Take the flow of your choice. Breathing in down dog. Optional here to take a child's pose, stick the hips over the heels. This is always an option for you if you need a deeper rest as we transition and flow. We'll all meet in down dog. Inhale, three-legged dog, right side. And exhale, right knee to right elbow. Swing it over to the left side, back over to the right, back to the left, back to the right, back to the left, right. And step it through center. Inhale, rise all the way up, this time back heels off the mat, high crescent lunge. Find prayer hands, crescent twist over to the right side, left elbow hooks outside of right knee, long spine. Inhale to get longer, exhale to twist deeper. And unravel, coming back up to a crescent lunge. Flow, find child's pose or downward facing dog. Reset and directly off to the left side, three-legged dog, left knee to left elbow. Swing that knee over to the opposite elbow and back. You can take this as slow or fast as you like. I'm going pretty fast here. And then step that left foot between the hands and find your high crescent lunge. Find prayer and hook that right elbow over on the outside of the left knee. Once again, inhale to get longer and exhale to twist deeper. Pressing through the hands and release crescent lunge. Plant the hands, step back and flow. Options here, yogi's choice, and how you want to find your way back to down dog as we continue. Look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, bicep by the ears, hips sink low, chair pose. Taking prayer twist through chair pose. So remember to sink deep, hook that left elbow outside of the right knee. Keep those two knees in a line as you sink deep through the hips, long through the crown of the head, long spine. An option here to take that left foot and step it back. And wherever you are, release. Find prayer twist on the other side, hooking that right elbow outside of the left knee, finding length through the crown of the head, sinking deeply into the hips, and twist. Remember, it's an option to bring that right leg back to crescent lunge if you want to try to challenge your balance, staying low, or option just to stay in chair pose. Wherever you are, release biceps by the ears, standing tall and folding forward, shaking that out, letting that go. That is a lot on the legs. Grab opposite elbows, find ragdoll. Maybe you shake your head yes and no, relieving that tension from the head, allowing those thoughts to just drift away as we really heat things up. Release the hands, step back and lower down halfway or all the way. Up dog or cobra, pressing back to down dog. Everyone meet here, take a breath or two, just resetting, checking in with those thoughts. Three-legged dog, right side. Knee to nose. Three-legged dog. And step the foot between the hands. Dial that back foot down and open the arms up. Warrior two. Deep bend in the front knee. And shorten your stance a bit. Triangle pose here. Bring the torso forward, arms forward, two straight arms, two straight legs. Open the chest. Top arm reaches high to the sky. Gaze can follow. And release. Find that bend once again in the front knee. And reverse warrior. Coming back up through warrior two, this time rotating that back foot to find revolved triangle. So you want to square off to the front and bring that left hand down on the inside of the right foot or onto the ankle. Back hand can come to the hip or raise up to the sky. Feeling the sensation, the difference when we twist the body, how much more this intensifies the pose. Maybe you want to bring that top arm back a bit to feel more of a stretch. Adjust your stance as we begin to place the balance in the front leg, coming into a revolved half moon pose. So playing around with balance here while we twist the body open, feeling just the different sensation of balancing and twisting at the same time, knowing that falling is okay. Bring that back foot down to the mat, unwind back into warrior two, and release that side. Hands come back to the mat, step it back, and go through a flow. We'll all meet in downward facing dog, resetting before we hit that second side. Three-legged dog left, knee to nose, three-legged dog, and step that foot between the hands, unwinding to warrior two. And straighten that front knee and shift the torso forward into triangle pose. You might have to shorten your stance a little bit. Two straight arms, two straight legs, top arm up to the ceiling, opening the chest. Bottom hand can come to the mat or to the ankle, coming back through warrior two, finding a reverse warrior, reaching up and back, and then adjusting the stance to find a revolved triangle on this side, reaching that hand down to grab the ankle or the mat, opening up, twisting, just feeling the difference that this slight twist makes on the body. Hand can come to the hip as we transition to a revolved half moon on the left side. You may have to adjust so you're in your center of your mat. Allow that bottom standing leg to have a slight bend if you need it, knowing that wobbles are okay. Letting that side go and going through a flow, rinsing it out. Appreciation for the body and all of these twists and turns that we're taking it into. And just let all that go, downward facing dog. Walk to the top of the mat. Halfway lift and fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms, biceps by the ears, and come to a standing position on the middle of your mat. We're going to find eagle. Arms come up by the ears. Right leg goes over the left. Right arm is under the left. So right leg is over. You can just cross over, or you can wind that foot around your calf, keeping that chest tall as you sink low, chair pose with your hips. And let that go. Either place that foot down or lift the right leg up, coming into a one-legged mountain pose. And then hands come to hips as you extend that leg forward for a balance challenge. Switching sides. Arms back up by the ears. Sit your hips low. Lift the left leg over the right, cross it. Option to hook that foot behind the calf, and then bring that left arm under the right. Maybe you adjust, maybe you wobble. See if your hands can come into a prayer, palms touching, sink low, keeping that chest tall, and letting that side go. Challenge to keep that left leg lifted. Bring your arms out to a T, extend that foot out forward, and back to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up, biceps by the ears, and swan dive. Let that go, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to the shins, and step it back. Flow through a vinyasa, slow and easy here, and press back down dog. Three-legged dog, right side, lift that leg long, and exhale, step that foot between the hands. Find a warrior two. Going to return to this peak flow. From warrior two, shorten the stance a bit and find a revolved triangle on the right side. Bottom arm can come to the mat or on the front shin. Open up. And then go straight into revolved half moon, planting that right foot on the mat and allowing that back left foot to extend behind you. Maybe it's only an inch. And open up to the right side. Then let that go, and this time find standing splits. Lift that back left foot up high to the sky and let that go. Vinyasa or straight to down dog. One more time on the left side. Final big push here of class. Three-legged dog left. Step that foot through between the hands. Dial the back heel down. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Adjust your stance as you bring that right arm forward and down towards your ankle or to the mat for a revolved triangle pose here. Open the top arm up, finding the twist, straight legs, straight arms. Placing the right hand down onto the mat, left hand to the hip, opening up to revolved half moon pose. Adjust as needed. Just taking a couple breaths here to feel the twist, feel the release, challenging your balance. If you fall out, just go right back into it. Breathing. Release. Standing splits on the left side. Fold forward as you lift that right leg up high to the sky and then step it back. Yogi's choice, flow, vinyasa, modified vinyasa, or meet in down dog. Remembering child's pose is always there for you. And then lift that right leg up and step it through. Half bring that right foot a couple inches behind that left wrist and the right knee behind the right wrist. Lifting up with a long spine and then walking your hands out, finding a forearms or a complete forward fold. Release all the work we just did in our hips, letting it go here as we begin to wind down. We've twisted so much. Our mind, our thoughts can get so complicated and so muddled that sometimes twisting and moving is the best way to simplify and slow down. Release that side. Step back. Final downward facing dog of class. Three-legged dog. And step it forward. That left knee just behind the left wrist. Lifting up. You can bring that foot in closer if you need a shorter stretch. It's going to be easier on the hips. So adjust as needed. And then fold forward. Bring those forearms to the mat or just a complete forward fold. Finding a surrender. An active stretch that also feels like a total release. Realizing that whatever you came into class worrying about may not be as big as you think. And press yourself back. Now this is our final downward facing dog, so just enjoy it, noticing how different you feel compared to the start of class. And then find a seat on the middle of your mat, finding a seated spinal twist. Cross your right foot so that your right heel is on the outside of your left hip and that your left foot is going to cross over. It's on the outside of your right thigh. That right arm comes up, hooks outside of the left leg, and twist the body. The back hand is supporting you behind the hip. Lifting tall, twisting. A little counter stretch here off to the other side. And we'll unwind, straighten out the legs, and then take that left leg, And bring that heel just outside of the hip, the right hip, and the right foot is going to come outside of the left thigh, lifting tall through the left arm and twisting outside of the right knee. Gaze off to the side, lifting tall through the spine and opening up the chest. Little counter twist off to the other side as we prepare to release the stretch. Legs come out long in front of you to a seated forward fold. Lift the arms up and then allow your body to melt over your legs, letting your head and your neck hang heavy as your arms stretch out toward your feet. Releasing here, stretching it out. Couple more deep breaths here. And let that stretch go. Coming into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Grab your toes, lift the spine tall, you can close your eyes as we relax into these final stretches. And then grab your ankles and you can really press into the knees to create a deeper stretch as you fold forward. Breathing into this one. Just letting everything go. And then place the feet onto the mat, slowly lower down. Hug yourself into a tiny little ball. Big show of gratitude to your body for all the work it did for you today. And a couple quick bicycles, so opposite elbow to opposite knee, getting that final firing of the core. You can go as fast or as slow as you like here. I'm keeping it pretty easy. But opposite elbow to opposite knee, slow and controlled, breathing. And then let it all go just for a moment. A little more, hug your knees once again. And then single leg stretches. So left leg stretches out long, right leg comes up and grabbing that calf with both hands, giving it a gentle tug, pushing it in, allowing gravity to bring that foot closer to the face, and then letting that leg fall off to the side. If you have to adjust like I am, adjust a little bit. Leg can come out a couple inches or all the way down, and then bring that leg over to the other side, place a bend in the knee, and find a supine spinal twist. Grab that leg that's crossed over your body and gaze off away from the leg. One more hug, switching sides. Release that right leg long, take that left leg and stretch it up, grabbing the calf, pulling that leg in, and then allowing that left leg to fall off to the left side. Still holding on to it, just finding the spot that your body wants today. Leg comes back to center, place a bend in the knee and let it go off to the other side. Supine spinal twist. Allow the left arm to go off to the left and your gaze follows. Letting it go and release. One more big hug, showing gratitude to yourself. Grabbing outside edges of the feet, happy baby pose. Feeling this final stretch as we close out class. Enjoying how it feels to just sway like a happy little baby. Feet come up to the ceiling, hands come down to the mat, palms face down, and slowly with control, lower the feet down to the mat and just allow everything to melt into the mat, palms face up, toes fall out to the side. I encourage you to enjoy the sweet feeling of Savasana for as long as you can today. For the sake of the video though, I'll guide you out of it. Roll over to one side in a fetal position and press yourself up to a seated position. Sitting cross-legged, just taking a final breath. Inhale, lift the arms up high to the ceiling, palms come to touch, and then down to prayer at heart center. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.